You have reached Imperial Reviews, and today's review is from Season 3, Episode 9. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So, this episode was decent. Coming up on the second to the last episode today, and we left off on last week's episode with Julie going into like the shrine area and basically witnessing, seeing connecting some of the dots that we didn't experience. And so in this episode you had we had Kenny and the new police officer who's teaming up, and they pretty much help Ethan to get Julie. And so this episode pretty much starts off with them going to get Tabitha, letting her know that Julie was in a clinic or whatever. So without going through the play-by-play, the bulk of the episode is pretty much Boyd and Donna got the group together, told the group that Fatima was missing and they need to find her because Sarah had a dream. Well, no, Sarah was having voices and she just was saying no. Her head was hurting, and she went and talked to Boyd and pretty much said she talked to Fatima and Ellis and pretty much said Fatima's missing, isn't she? And they're like, well, how would you know something like that? And she said, because the voices was telling me that y'all not going to find her in time, y'all, before it's too late. And she's scared or whatever. So when they said that, Boyd jumped into action. Basically, he said, we got to tell the town that she's missing and we need to find her before it's too late. So the town pretty much broke up into pairs, and one of the pairs was Elgin, spooky self, rode up on Ellis. Now, before Elgin reached back to town, he gave Fatima. So Fatima's starting to show fast. She's starting to show the baby bump now, and Fatima wasn't eating. So Elgin pretty much told her the reason why she stabbed Telly is because the baby was hungry, and the baby, you stopped eating or whatever. So the baby was reacting. So she was pretty much telling Elgin she needed to get out of there, and she tried to stab Elgin, and then he pretty much calmed her down. And so the town went out looking for Tabitha, and while Elgin was with Fatima, he gave her the blood that we seen him drain from himself and put in a jar. He gave her, so that's sick. He gave Fatima his blood to drink, and she really drunk it, like feeding the baby blood. So this is real spooky. Victor, he was going on a temper tantrum where he was throwing his stuff out the house, the house on the hill, throwing his room upstairs, throwing stuff out the window. He's roaming all around, upset. He went and got an axe, and people say they don't feel comfortable with him having an axe. He's acting real erratic and unhinged. He said, I gotta go cut down a tree. And so it showed him going out to a tree, and then it went away from him. The rest of the group was looking for stuff. Looking for Fatima, and no one really came close. So then what you had was a big reveal that I thought, and I seen this, I will have to go back to my recaps that I done from. I even said this either in season 1 or season 2, definitely by season 2. I mentioned somewhere long time ago, and definitely in my recaps in this season, that I mentioned that it was, I thought long time ago, either from season 1 or season 2, that Tabitha was Victor's sister. I thought of that a long time ago, that Tabitha is Victor's sister. Now I forgot what happened earlier on. Was either the first season that something happened. I said, I wonder is Tabitha's Victor's sister. That's what it seems like to me. And then they threw something that threw me off from that. And then I brought it up again in one of my recaps this season. And then I also, in last week's recap, I thought of it again. Like, it's showing more and more signs that Tabitha been here. Why was she here? And this episode revealed when it showed Victor's scene where it was supposed to be his sister and the mom hugging both of them, Tabitha remembered that. And she remembered that was her. She remembered getting hugged by the mom like that. And keep in mind, remember when the mom left first, the mom told both kids to stand put. The daughter, his sister, didn't stand put. She got him left, but Victor stayed there the whole time. Then it showed Tabitha running from the real creepy dude of the night crawlers, and then she fell and it looked like he jumped on her or whatever the case may be. So that took place. So that was like the biggest reveal, and pretty much the episode went off like that. I'm trying to think, was any other important? Oh yeah, the other important was when Jay was next to the house and climbing up a ladder. The guy with the ventriloquist that was talking to when Victor went down and he was remembering, that guy was on the roof talking to Jay with the ventriloquist. Then also when Victor was going to cut down a tree, he ran into the boy in white as well, and they were having a conversation. So when Tabitha and Julie was out in the woods looking for Fatima, they seen one of the kids. Well, Tabitha seen one of the kids. The kid was telling her to follow him. The follower that led to the trap door where Fatima is. Meanwhile, Fatima, either one, if I've been pronouncing it, whatever you prefer. So Fatima was in there, and a woman with the Komodo dress, ghost or spirit, whatever she is, seeing Fatima crying and making noise, so she went over to her and held her down with her mouth. So therefore, you're wondering why. Then you see Tabitha and Julie come. So if she was screaming, they would have heard her in there. So when Tabitha said, "Oh, someone's already down here," you thinking maybe Elgin left abruptly and left it, but it was Victor sitting there in there, turned to the side. I mean, turned facing the wall like the Blair Witch Project, and part one, and faced the corner. And then Tabitha came down there and said, "What are you doing?" And he thought, he was basically saying, "I thought, why was I left here all this time?" And so when she went to hug Victor in his place, it made her have the flashback of what took place with the mom. And so she brushed Victor off, and she went back up the stairs, and Julie was pretty much like, "Mom, what's going on? You acting weird." And she started envisioning some more or whatever. So that was the episode. A decent recap for episode 9, and then part 10. I said part 2, and then episode 10. Then we get to see how it ends for the season. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.